You have questions, we have answers. This is Jane Miller.
And this is Ken Miller. Welcome to our show, all about real estate with Ken and Jane. Today, we're going to talk about the hidden economy in real estate. Whenever a buyer and a seller get together and a home is sold, there's a hidden economy that benefits greatly the whole community. What do we mean by this? Well, let's start with when you have a house on the market, there's contractors involved, right?
Yes.
There's many different areas. Contractors get involved. If you're a homeowner, before you list the home, you might consult with your contractor, handyman to do certain touch-ups, painting, to get the home marketable and looking its best before you put it on the market. That's number one.
Landscaper.
Well, no, we're not done with contractors. Also, there might be things you want to do, painting. Also, when the home inspection comes, oftentimes there's repairs that have to be done to the house, right? You've got, you may have windows that aren't working or fully operable that need to be adjusted. You may have an HVAC issue. You may need a tune-up on that. You may need the gutters, may need to be cleaned. There may be leaders that need extensions. What else? There's so many different things, could be structural issues, plumbing issues. You could have that leak, that dripping kitchen faucet that needs play. Or you may have a leak, or you may have something more major in the sewer pipe that's going out. So there's a lot, and we're just touching the surface. We're going to talk about a lot of other areas where the whole community benefits. But just number one is contractors. And then also after the buyer moves in, that's another area where buyers will want to put their personalized touch on the property. So that could involve repainting it. Yeah. It might involve remodeling it, maybe refinishing those hardwood floors that are in great shape but just need the revival. It could be adding crown molding, renovating a kitchen, bathrooms. There's a whole bunch of things. Adding a deck to it, including a swimming pool. So the home is it's such a big. This is just a start. We've got many things to talk about in this show. But contractors
in our case, right? Just for the listening out there, the moment we closed our home 12, 13 years ago. My husband, the first project is clear up the backyard, put a fence in.
Well, we have dogs.
3 dogs.
Right. That's another. There you go.
That's another important.
Right. The fencing. Yeah.
Number one thing.
Well, because the fence they had was like a wooden fence that was like 3 feet high. So I don't think that was going to contain the dogs we had at that time. That with their jumping ability, when they could jump like 5 feet. So that was one. Yeah. Yeah. Fencing. There are all these ancillary things that going around a home, and then we talk about also. There's landscaping, which is part of the contractor group, but that's a big thing. You're going to need for lawn care. Maybe you have an underground sprinkler system that needs maintenance. You're going to need trees removed, like in our case, branches trimmed.
They have so many dead trees in the backyard.
Yeah,
that's really food for termites.
Yeah, so there's so there's such a big effect from home ownership.
Too.
Yeah.
The guys have to clear them out 12 years ago, 13 years
ago. Yeah, ivy, right. So that's what keeps, so that's one area. And the one good thing about it is that most contractors are local to the area. You're not bringing contractors from out of state. Most of these are families that live in the area. So,
otherwise, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
For the trip.
So that's just one area. With landscaping, like we covered, the fencing is one important thing. The routine lawn care, tree maintenance. What about also an outdoor kitchen? That's a very popular thing. And you're talking about thousands and thousands of dollars that some people spend on their outdoor kitchen.
New kitchen, the grill, everything, the fridge out there.
Paver blocks. You're talking about, that it can be quite elaborate. You can have a fire pit and an outdoor area for changing, and it's a whole. So you're talking about that's great. So why do people like to spend so much on the outdoor? Because they view the outside as an extension of their living environments, right?
I think, Ken, I have to say, right? Which is strange in a way. Before the COVID, right? If you have a drop-dead gorgeous backyard, okay, you definitely add value, but it may sell quicker. It may add a little bit, but never be add dramatically amount to the house. But since COVID, people pay more attention or equally attention to the outside and the inside. If you have a beautiful backyard pool, and it adds value. It's like, I think the buyer changed.
But also, I think that people enjoy spending time outdoors in general. That's why you buy a house, because they want to enjoy. So I think people, when on a nice day, you don't want to be in the house because we spend so much of our time indoors. So when the weather's nice, so they want to maximize their enjoyment outside, whether it be the patio, the deck. That's why you have the outdoor. Furniture is another certain extension,
right.
which we're going to cover. But obviously outdoor patio furniture, we invested in that too.
Yep. During the COVID.
During the COVID, right, because there were meetings we had outside, and then for gatherings and things.
I think people more kind of, unfortunately, right, COVID happened, but because of COVID, people kind of more aware or more enjoying the nature now than before, right? I mean, people can see, especially during the lockdown, right? That's the darkest moment in many people's life.
Yeah.
So suddenly the outdoor, the flower, the birds singing, and it's kind of give you the life feeling, right? It's like a refreshing.
Yeah.
So that's really, that's some good things out of the COVID.
Yeah.
People more.
So I think we're getting a little bit off
nature.
target, but I think that's one of the reasons why people, when they buy a house, the yard and the scenery is very important. It's almost like a hidden value. You can't really quantify it like you can with the house, with the square footage and the size of the house and the updates in the house and the age of the roof, the age of the HVAC. But there's the view of a lake or the backyard with the flowers and the trees and the tree-lined view, and there's a value, interest in that, right?
Yeah,
Intrinsic,
absolutely. Absolutely. Intrinsic value is out there. Yeah.
Yeah, and then also, with the children, you might invest in the swing set, the playground. So these are all things that come with home ownership, right? If you're buying a single-family home, you're getting
it's where you raise your family,
right?
It's like your home. It's not a building. It is not a place. It is your home,
right?
Sweet home.
That's why
a lot of memory to be built, and
you might have this. You might build this sand pit for the young kids, the swing set. It's all involved. Yeah. So landscaping contractors, suppliers, regular contractors. Those are all areas we hit. Let's talk about another obvious industry, but there's also things that are related to it. The moving industry, obviously, number one, the movers. When you're buying and selling, normally you have a moving company involved. The professionals that handle the move. That's number one. But also you might have storage facilities involved. Yep. In the case of, let's say you're a buyer or a seller and you're moving somewhere, but you don't have room for all your stuff, or if you're a seller and you're relocating, maybe out of state, but let's say your home isn't ready yet, so you have to rent somewhere. Well, you got all this stuff from the house. You want to eventually put it into your new home. What do you do with it? You put it into storage, right?
Absolutely.
So storage facilities are going to be are big benefactors of people moving.
I saw a lot of people
packing supply companies, right? If you're doing some moving yourself, you're always going to need boxes, bubble wrap, tape, things,
the
fun stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then you deal with this all the time when you're having clients that are moving. You have too much stuff. You may have a junk removal company of stuff that needs to get removed and disposed of. You may have donation companies involved of hopefully things like furniture and things that are salvageable that can be donated for goodwill causes.
With the trash removal. What we do here is I have a company, Don't Throw Away company.
Holly's been on the show.
Holly and Andrew, they're very good. So what they do is they offer the seller with a very little extra charge, very little. They do twice. Before I put on the market, because we want to make sure the house look big and spacious. So they will remove a lot of furniture, but a lot of owner doesn't want a home to be empty. Even though last week we talked about virtually staging the house, but some old-fashioned, thinking here. I mean, they don't want it. It's not old-fashioned. Even my age or even younger. Sometimes the personal preference. They may say, I still want to have some actual furniture, right? And especially if they still live there, they don't want every room empty. So what do we do with this case? We would remove the excess furniture they're not going to take with them. So whatever the excess furniture they don't want, so make the room look spacious. So we can, the company can either donate it or try to, to take them away, right? And after we sold the house, and then obviously the owner will hire the mover, move whatever they needed for the new place, they still have some furniture left over. And if the buyer want it, they'll be free because it'll be cheaper for the seller. And if they don't want it, and then the Holly and Andrew, their company, they would come back to remove the rest.
Yeah.
So by doing twice, most company only doing once. So if you do twice, they may charge more, much more. But for them, because they're local, right? They live in East Brunswick. The business East Brunswick, majority of our clients in Central Jersey is very local. So they charge just a little bit extra, but they come twice. In my opinion, that's worth it because that's make the house show better and reduce a lot of, the anxiousness from the seller. They don't have to be so anxious to get rid of everything. And the house definitely show much better.
I remember working with Holly with a client of yours whose mother lived in Edison at the time. That reminded me where they actually took the time, they were packing things away like Chinaware and things that either was going to be donated or that the client didn't want or that they needed a box to make the house more presentable.
Yeah.
But they donate, they do whatever, whenever possible, they'll donate whatever they can. And then, so that's something that goes to a worthy cause. If they can donate the silver, the Chinaware and the dishware.
The earlier the more notice you give to them, the better. Because if you give them plenty of notice and they have a time to see whether any organization need anything, they can arrange to deliver to them. Right. Yeah. But if you just say, I want this thing to disappear by 5 p.m. today, obviously they have not much time for anything. So in that way, just always plan ahead. And if you are a seller out there, if you want to put your house on the market, please engage your real estate agent at the early stage. Because sometimes, majority of my clients will talk to me even a year or 2 years ahead of time, which is great. But some just call me when they've done everything. So if you get real estate agent involved as early as you just had the thought of going to put a house on the market, they will help you to make arrangement, make a suggestion, the contractors, the service providers, as well as help you to give you ideas.
What to declutter and what needs
what needs to be done, what you don't have to do.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Another area that benefits from the real estate under the subcategory of moving would be cleaning. Usually when you're either moving into the house or moving out of the house or moving out of the apartment into your house, there's cleaning involved where professional cleaners get involved because most, either if you're the tenant moving into a new house, you've got to have it professionally cleaned most likely to turn it over to the landlord. Or you may have to have it professionally cleaned before you turn the key back to the landlord.
Most of my sellers chose to have a professional
clean. Right.
Number one, they moving, they just really won't have the time and they're stressed out already.
Right.
Secondly, they want to give the house the way they want to be received to the new owner.
Sure.
That's kind of the a goodbye to their house.
Goodwill
and
a welcome
to the
gift that's a nice way of welcoming the
new owner.
The new owner, yeah. And lastly, under this category, I had the truck rental business. There are cases where either you have a moving company, but you may need to supplement it with your own move. So you may hire your own, you may go to get your own U-Haul or wherever, one of those third-party
But be careful
trucks.
when you do that.
Be careful. Be careful for what you're doing, driving it, and also, handling the heavier packages as well. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back after these messages. Okay, welcome back to our show. So let's continue talking about all the industries and businesses that benefit from a move. Next on the list is interior design. I know that's one of your favorites categories, right? That's where the fun begins what we mean by this is mostly for the buyers or the going into their new home, whether it be a townhouse, a condo, or single family house. The interior designers, decorators, furniture stores, window treatments, they all come into play. It's all a big, they're all big.
Exciting moment.
Yeah.
New home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's often the time with the new home where you're going to get the people to make everything their own. They're going to add their personal touch to it, right? They're going to add the new furniture. I mean, not always, but oftentimes they're going to,
Yes.
maybe they're moving into a bigger home, so they need new furniture for the
Or
family
smaller
room.
home,
or smaller home, right.
The style
or
change.
The style change, right.
Yeah.
And that's usually the time it seems they coincide
Yeah.
with the move, right? Because
Yes.
you want to paint everything, get everything fresh, and then have the furniture to go with it, right? Or
And not only that, okay, you don't want to pay the mover to move from one place to the new place,
Yeah.
and later on in 6 months you want to change the furniture.
Exactly.
You may well just buy the new furniture from the begin with, right?
Right.
So that will make the move easier.
Yeah. And how do you think interior designers come into play? They're a professional that might be consulted by somebody moving in to help them, give them ideas on color schemes and different.
That's really debatable because some people just before they move in, they would hire.
Right.
Other people, after they pay the house, they pretty much need to save up. So they either do themselves or the agent can give some idea on the color, on any renovation need to be done in the house. And sometimes even you leave the house. I have so many clients. They live in the house for maybe 10 years. It's a time for a change. They don't want to sell yet, right? They want a change. So at that time, they hire a professional, help them to redesign, renovation, or just a lot of time they don't do renovation. They just redesign what they have.
Yeah, that's what your mom used to do, right?
Yeah, my
you said
mom would do it all
she
the
did
time.
it herself, but she was her own interior decorator, right?
Every couple of years,
she would flip.
When you go home, you think you're in the wrong house.
But I have to say, it is nice after a while. Even with our house, we haven't done much since it was painted and the furniture. But it is nice, even if you move a piece of furniture from one wall to the next, you get a sense of a little bit of a freshness to it, like just a different take on it.
You give a bit of painting yourself.
You give a little painting yourself. You touch,
touch up. Let's give you the freshness, just like something exciting, right?
Right. That's what people I think like change once in a while, right?
Yeah,
they just want to change things up. Whether it be if you're a woman, a lot of times you change your hairstyle, right? You may have long hair, then short hair, then curly hair, then so it's just the same thing. People want to change, just like their living environment. They want to experience, try different things, right?
Yeah. I mean, coming back to the economy affected by the real estate industry. I mean, I think the local business get a lot too.
Oh, yeah,
right?
we're going to talk about, absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that now. Then we can talk about the last, which is the obvious one, all the professionals, but let's talk about the businesses. So so when you move into a town, what do you typically do? You're going to probably shop local because it's more convenient. So you've got you've got your supermarkets that are going to benefit directly. They're the anchors of the community for the retail spaces. The major supermarkets, maybe your smaller ones, maybe your specialty grocers or luxury ones, whether it be a Trader Joe's or Giuseppe's or whatever the case may be. Besides them, you've got your restaurants, right?
Again, I'm just gonna stop you there. Remember, I don't know you remember, right? Your favorite show, the Seinfeld.
Yeah.
And there was one episode.
They always went to the same diner.
Not only the diner. That's a different one. The one of them was like one of them. I think want to buy a house or something. They were very happy. I can't remember Seinfeld or the Friends, but
I don't know,
one of
I don't
either
watch
the
Friends too much.
Either the Friends or the Seinfeld, right? I can't remember which one. They like the house. They made an offer, get accepted, so they gotta buy a house, and everybody, all the friends come and just like celebrate. So let's celebrate. That's great news. That's fantastic. You got a house, and let's go to Chinese restaurant. And the real estate agent said, "I'm so sorry. There's no local Chinese restaurant." And then the people said,
Forget
we'll
the
have
house.
to cancel. I can't buy the house.
There's no local Chinese restaurant. That's like a mainstay in every restaurant, every place, at least in New Jersey, right? Maybe if you go to Pennsylvania.
That's why I thought it was Seinfeld. It was in New York,
Yeah.
They said, I'm sorry, that's a deal breaker.
But it seems everywhere there probably is. Even in Indiana, when we went out to college didn't we see, wasn't there a Chinese restaurant?
Yeah, there was Chinese restaurant. But doesn't taste like a Chinese.
Yeah, but it's American Chinese, which is what,
Indiana style Chinese.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So what else besides the coffee shops? Obviously, that's a mainstay. Dry cleaners.
Store, dry cleaners. Yeah.
Fitness.
Childcare.
Fitness, childcare, right?
And,
they're all,
also the
pet
gym.
services.
Yeah, the pet services.
You're going to have
the gym, that's your specialty. And the tutoring, which is my specialty.
And then of course medical services, right?
Yeah.
That's what Central Jersey's is known for, right? If you go to
Yes,
East Brunswick, you go down Cranberry Road, that's medical center. Corridor, lawyers and doctors right down there. So auto repair, right?
Yeah.
Everybody wants to keep their cars
Running.
taken care of, running. Your hardware stores, right?
Yeah, everything.
Home nurseries for your planting, right? Your local, your local farm markets, right?
Yeah,
Farmers.
that's right.
We live near one too, so that's a big plus, right?
Yeah.
So
a lot of time, right? The real estate is I believe is the engine for local economy.
That's
remember when the COVID just started, Home Depot and the Lowe's, like people everywhere. Remember that?
I think
time?
home ownership, or whether it be home ownership, condo ownership, townhouse ownership, they're all
even renting.
Even renting, you still put right. Even renters, tenants, you still do things. Even when I used to rent back when I was young, I painted myself, and you bought pictures for the place, or you did things. You bought cleaning supplies because you want to even wherever you live, whether you own or rent, you still have pride in where you live. You want to take, you invest your time and your money and your soul into making it the best experience it can be.
Yeah, I remember there was a couple of our rental properties, right? One of them is the owner got a job transfer, so they're not sure whether the job going to pen it out. So they want to rent it out for the time being until they know the job is the family going to like the new state and the job is going to be solid. So we'll rent it out. And the new tenant asked for permission to pen the house, to fix up the place. And then 2 years later, when seller decided to sell, the place looked much better than it was because they really freshened it up. They did a lot of improvement. And there's another house, and the tenant asked the landlord whether they can improve the outside, the yard. So the landlord said it has to be professionally, it has to be, within the rules, standard, with the community. Oh my God, they had the best yard in the whole area.
Right, but you see a lot of that with tenants. Oftentimes they have flowers and plants outside there in certain complexes in Central Jersey. You notice that are clearly rented. You can see they take very good pride in having their gardens and
that's their home.
Flowers. So they do a lot. So there's it's not just limited to those people that own something, but also the renters out there. If you're a resident, that's the better way, the broadest way to characterize it, right?
That's right.
So so that's really. So they're discovering every day. There's so many more businesses. We didn't hairstylist.
Actually, I'm going my hairstylist.
So, but it's these are all local. So the whole basically anything you can think of is basically mostly locally driven, right? That's supported by residents. So that's why the whole thing of ownership, where you live, is determines a lot.
It's a lot. I mean, once again, it's not
learning centers for kids go for the different supplemental education. It's all community centers, ice skating rinks.
You need people.
You need people.
It doesn't matter you own or you rent. We need a resident. You need people. When you have we're in the people business, right?
So we spoke about contractors, landscapers, all the different interior designers, all these different businesses. Now let's leave the obvious one for last. What about all the professionals that benefit from a real estate agent? Well, obviously starting with real estate agents. Normally you have a real estate buyer agent, a seller agent.
Yeah, in the transaction you have your lawyer.
You have your lawyer.
Buyer and seller attorneys.
Attorneys, right.
You have a buyer, have a home inspectors.
Right.
You have loan officers.
You have a loan officer, you have a processor, a loan officer. In the mortgage field, you have an underwriter who has got to review it, give the final. So these are all very important jobs. And then within the title company, you're going to have the title officer, the title processor, checking to make sure that there's no liens and
settlement agent.
Settlement agent, usually part of the title company, or it could be the attorney, and it used to be, but now it's more common that it's the title company. Surveyor, I was going to say. Yeah. And what's another thing that you missed on that whole list? That's very important. The appraiser.
Oh, the appraiser.
You got to have an appraiser, unless you're paying cash. I mean, you're most likely it's going to need an appraisal, whether it be a drive-by or physical appraisal. You're going to need an appraiser, a professional, to go out there and determine that, make sure that to protect the bank's interest and making sure that there's enough what the house appraises at. What else? What else do we have here besides that? Surveyors, home inspectors. Yeah. So it's basically a whole team of professionals.
Yes, to make the deal work.
To make the deal work, right? It's not just one. Yeah, it's not just the real estate agents, but they're working in tandem with all these other professionals, and it's
hands in hands. So as a good listing agent, I always make sure every step of the process, I have to be really, be detailed, be watch out, and follow up.
Oh, we even
make
forgot.
sure
There's even more. Even so, with the real estate team, like in your case, there may be admin. There's a whole.
Yep.
In your case, you have a team of admin that help you support it, get involved in the listing, getting before the listing, getting the house ready. That's professionals,
everything.
Photos, photography, professional photography, right?
Yeah, everything. So you can see the real estate itself, right? Actually, is like snapshot of the local economy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like that's kind of like the engine, right? Where people's are. I heard a lot of a big developer when they want to bring.
We can talk about
when they want to bring in the like well-known brand, well-known stores, right?
Stores.
They always ask how many people live here.
Correct.
Buyer, they always ask the buying power.
And what a lot of developers want to look at, besides bringing in the necessary like grocer or they want to bring in stores that are going to benefit the local community of those residents.
Yes.
Like oftentimes they don't want necessarily all restaurants. They might want a dry cleaner or something that's convenient or that's needed by those residents to make their experience living there more self-contained, right?
Yes.
So it might be a dry cleaner, it might be the coffee shop, it might be with the restaurant. With maybe an ice cream store, maybe a learning center. There's different things. I'm thinking about Central Jersey,
center.
Maybe a medical center, maybe there'll be a hotel. Sometimes these complexes are built with a hotel, the fitness center involved in it. So it's all, so it's all, they all work together to.
Yeah, at the end of the day, all the business, any business can. You cannot have a successful business, or forget about successful. You cannot survive without the customers.
Customers, right?
Yeah,
right.
The customer not gonna travel 100 miles to get there.
Right.
So obviously, local, resident is support the local business.
Yeah, and after they work a long day, they want to be able. They want the convenience of having their dry cleaner, having their food choice downstairs, having their grocer close by, their childcare. They're even designing these new communities with the little dog park there, right? So that people can have their pets and have a convenient place to walk them and exercise them, right?
Yeah, that's absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, everything go back to the economy and people is hands in hands. People need somewhere to live.
Yeah.
So real estate is a part of it.
But they don't live in a bubble. They live with all these things around them and all these. So that's what it all comes down to. All right, we are out of time. We hope you guys enjoyed this show. We'll see you next week. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thank you.